How y'all doing today? This is like a low key late vibe with me right now. We just KeeKeeing. We're just gonna have a good old time. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna enjoy ourselves because that's all we can do. It is a beautiful day. Mm 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 mm. So let's get this party started because y'all I've been tickling myself to death when I saw this video. And I tell you, I was tickling myself to death. This was like so funny. Now I did see somebody redo this, and I didn't like it. And I'm gonna tell you a reason why I didn't like it because it wasn't funny. Don't add yourself to it. I don't know if y'all like. Don't I don't know. I feel like with content and just like doing skits, people love to eat off of other people, and it just aggravated me. It does. It does something to my soul. It does something to my soul, y'all. So I want my goal is to be on here until like 9:30, 9:45. So let's start the party right. We're gonna start the party right because I swear some of these ladies on this YouTube need some cheese. So yeah, let's look at this.
There are two types of people who should avoid taking gabapentin for neuropathy. Anyone who wants to keep both legs.
All right, welcome back. A live look here.
Maybe I get to see the real thing. Come on.
Bright in your morning. Beautiful sunrise there.
No, we ain't gonna see the whole thing. Hold on.
Skills.
She been practicing all week. You hear me?
I know.
Now I wish they had played the whole song.
Live from Catholic TV. It's a beatboxing nun and her holy backup dancer. I just want to be the backup dancer. I know.
I just want to see the real one. Like I really want to see like the whole thing. Like nobody has the actual.
It's often said that creators will suffer. In Brazil, they dedicated. So Marissa De Paula jumped into this.
Okay, so y'all, let me pause this for a minute. Let's stop sharing that. All right, so I've been jamming to that since like early in the morning this morning. I saw that and I was like, what's the name of that song? But I wanted to actually see the real thing. Like I know that she had said something else, she was singing something else, but I wanted to see the dancer do more dance. I thought she was going to spin around her head or something, but she didn't. They stopped it. Okay, and maybe, but I thought that was the most cutest thing ever. And at first, I say, you know what? I know you, but it's about God. Okay, but I just thought that was the most cutest thing that I saw recently this week. This week is a recap of everything I seen or I talked about. Okay, so let's jump into the first thing. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't. It's not that I don't like. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of her. We're gonna talk about her first. It's Lee Unfiltered. We're gonna talk about her first. But she's supposed to have got a job interview at a what is that thing called? Um at an eye clinic. And I'm assuming she probably didn't get the job. So she's on her soapbox right now.
Some dancing.
So she's on her soapbox. So we're going to look at the latest video of her soapbox. Oh, no, we're going to watch the Ungrateful Broad talk about I wish I had my own house. I'm tired of going back. I'm trying to go back to Florida, and I almost became homeless, feeling stuck in my mother in law home. Bitch, move out at this point.
Open the door to more amazing guests. List your
Y'all, please
vacation rentals
excuse
on Booking.com.
the bad words that comes out of my mouth, but guess what?
On my way to work, it's raining. I don't even tell. You can't really see it, but it's raining a little bit. It's kind of like sprinkling. And I'm glad it's raining because that way I know it's not going to be crazy busy at my job. Like sometimes it just gets to be too much. Like cashiering back to back to back, never ending. It just gets overwhelming. It just gets, having to make.
Okay, darling. What did you the freaking you expect? You thought it was going to be rainbows and butterflies at Marshall's, all right? And I'm gonna have to say, I think you're feeling upset, not because you have to work, it's because you can't spend money that you watching other people spend. And that's the only reason why. It's not that I'm sorry. I think some of these jobs that if you're like working with the public and you're face to face, I feel like you have a better connection and you have a better understanding about being a better person. Not because you can get something out of people. Sometimes you get a chance to experience certain things off of people. I don't understand. Like when I work, even with my dealership, I love connecting with people, even though I might not see them again, or I might, hear from them. I can feel some type of, like, okay, this person might need that smile. That person might need that person to listen to them. Even if it's like 10, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's like a five, not even 3 or 4, 5, 4 minutes. You're in a, you talking, engaging with them, scanning stuff. That is a blessing that you even get to chance to have people to people time away from your children. That's the reason why I feel like going to work outside of the home is such a rewarding feeling when you have kids you can go home to. Now, some people, they don't go home to nobody. They're lonely. You at least have that. So you like to come on here and cry and boo hoo about nonsense. But let's go.
Constant connections with people, constantly talking to people, and some people want to really like talk to you. They really want to have like a conversation.
Bitch, aren't you on YouTube? I'm trying to understand this. Aren't you on YouTube? Don't you tell us your business, you dummy. Now you got a problem when people do it to you. That's just
They
weird.
just, I know right off the bat whenever they want to have a conversation, and I'm just like, I'm drained, like I'm tired, like I'm just not up for having a conversation right now. Um,
Now, this is the reason why you should lose your job. See, you always feel like you needed to get your way, and something about people like you, like I feel like your husband is mentally retarded. He's not right in the head. Something about him, and you knew that. Like you knew he wasn't there mentally, and you knew he wasn't there. But I feel like the mother is somewhat interfering with how you can control him. And that's something I'm starting to peep. Like I feel like he's not he don't have it mentally that you can't control that factor. And that mother is probably controlling every avenue that you can.
But yeah, hopefully today it's not gonna be too crazy busy. I was studying my cosmetology book because we're gonna start back up school. I think in like not this week, but next week school starts up again for me. And and I was looking into what do I have to do to like.
I'm sorry. This is sidetrack. Can y'all curly girls stop flat ironing that piece of bang? That is aggravating. That look like a lace front. Like, no lie. That is so aggravating. I don't know why, but the long a straight piece on the side and everything else is curly. Oh my gosh. It's like business on top and party in the back type of vibe. Like, ooh. But that's just me. Okay, that's all.
Transfer my license over to Florida, and apparently you only need 1,200 hours of cosmetology with a cosmetology course, and then you need but the only thing that you need over there that you don't need over here is a 4-hour HIV course or something, and I don't have that. We don't have that requirement here, so yeah. Also, I wanted to say something in my last video that I made. Towards the end of my blog, I was saying that
Hey, Ebony.
I was saying, you ever feel like you know what you have to do, but you have people like telling you no, that it's not a good idea? Well, I wasn't referring to you guys. I was referring to somebody in my life, like somebody that lives with me.
Okay, so this is Lee Unfiltered. Now, she's a she's like a whiny, leechy person. I mean, granted, she has a job. She just quitted her Denny's job, but now she just works at Marshall's. Now, at one point in time, her husband did have a job, but I'm not for sure if he still has a job. I haven't been caught up with her to know if her husband lost his job or he quit his job. So right now, she's whining about her mother-in-law. And basically, I'll be honest with you, you've been living with your mother-in-law for, I want to say, at least about 7 or to 8 years. You've been living with your mother-in-law, and that's a long time, and you haven't progressed. And when I mean progress is like you haven't thought about the first year, maybe cool, maybe trying to get things situated, but this is the 6th year you've been living with your mother-in-law, and you just trying to rush to go to school. And on top of that, it's not even like consistent. You just rushed to get a job. So you sat around for 6 years and did absolutely nothing with your life. It is crazy. But that's a follow up. I mean, I haven't been, she got like 3 more videos. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to touch this one because she just seemed very ungrateful. You don't have to pay no bills. When she does her bill, y'all, she does her credit card, her little whatever credit line she has, loans, um, and then she got some money saved. Now, with that being said, there's no there's no money putting in any of the bills, water, lights, rent, mortgage, property taxes. She don't put no money in for that. And then she does half-ass videos talking about I need to make $30 work a week. Bitch, if you don't stop playing with us,
You know, telling me that we're not going to be able to do it. You know, and it's hard because he was on the same page. He was on the same page as me. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, we had a conversation which turned into a mini argument about, you know, the move. And it's just like some things were said that I didn't know that he felt that way about us and move and stuff, um, like he pretty much said that because of our track record, we're not going to be able to make it. And like, especially over there. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, are we going to live here with your mom forever? Because I'm not doing that. And he's like, no, but it was just like, it just felt like,
Okay, so you and your husband decide to have a reality conversation. Now, I'm all for, when she says she wants to move closer to her mom, I'm all for it. I understand mentally, physically, I understand 100%. But with that being said, you cannot go you cannot go to Florida and your husband don't he has no, and when he said y'all track record, that most likely means finding a job. Y'all don't have a very good track record of keeping a job. He's right about that. We can see it. You record it every day that how much you hate your job, the jobs that you quit, and so on and so on. And you somewhat kind of stay in, let me get, let me go ahead and get, stay on the system. And for some odd reason, for that man to not to have a job with those many kids y'all have, tells me he gets SSI. Y'all basically getting money somewhere. And I personally feel like y'all not even married because I'm not understanding why this man can't keep a job longer than 6 months. And y'all have kids. You worry more about him being there at home from before 3 o'clock instead of, hey, let's make sure we got a good support system. And personally, if your his mother is not making you pay rent or paying something or even using gas, you don't have a bill for 6 years, baby, you got a support system. You just personally, you can't get your way for some reason. Or they might be asking you to do certain things. Because I feel like you hoarding your YouTube check, you hoarding your school money for what? And every 5 minutes, you got some type of problem. When your mother-in-law called you on that live, you was doing a video, and she was asking if he had gas in the car. That told me a lot. Y'all two adult people that hunch around, and y'all clueless. Let's go.
it just felt like he just doesn't want to move away from his mom's house because he feels safe there. He feels like stability.
Again, I said he was mentally. He's not. He doesn't have the capacity to think, and you knew this. See, this is what I'm talking about. Weak women like your older men and don't realize that are linking up with somebody that education was based in a trailer from third grade all the way up to 12th grade. I know he don't want to leave his mommy, but you got knocked up by him. Make that make sense? And that's something I would have done. And Ebony, if you, I don't know if you can keep up with her, but I'm gonna tell you, they broke up. And instead of her going back home or finding her, when a man breaks up with me, I'm not staying at your mama's house. He moved out of his mama house and moved with his dad in his daddy house. and she stayed. They stopped. They broke up for about almost like she said a year, baby. She is more like the leecher than I think because I'm sorry, I'm not. You're not moving away from me, and I'm staying at your mama's house, and you at your daddy's house. No, and it would never been. I don't. I think I would have moved when easy when he couldn't keep a job longer than a year. Couldn't keep a job longer than a year. That just behooves me. That behooves me. Let's go.
right? Stability, and he doesn't want to move from stability. And I get that. I wouldn't want to be unstable, but it's something that I feel that we have to go through. I think we really need to try to get on our own two feet. It's good to have support. It's good to have family support, but not like this. So I don't know.
So, and now this makes me wonder. Like, I feel like this when they do move to Florida and they don't make it, because she gives me traits of I now I got my mama, but what you want to do type of vibe. You can go to school all day long, and I'm sorry. She's been living with her parents for 6 years. She's been living with this man's parents for 6 years. And she got off the bus and she basically showed us like how they met. Okay, so they met online, and I guess he gave her a ticket and she had her bags. And before you know it, she was pregnant. They got married, and she's been living with his family for a long time for those 6 years. But and it might have been longer than that, y'all. But personally, she never had a plan from the get go. When she got on that Greyhound to meet this man, she didn't have a plan and never had a plan. And then eventually, now I'm sorry to say, due to due to a lot of federal funding, people are starting to get off their ass. They're starting to move. Okay. When anybody threaten to take your food stamps, your Medicaid, your SSI, all that, yeah, your ass should be moving. Like something put a fire in some people's ass. Now she's struggling because those 6 years or plus, she's supposed to be doing adulting things such as working, trying to, I'm sorry to say, not trying to be funny, but when you're a certain age, you better have some type of job security. Some type of, even if you say, hey, I I wanted to be a CNA, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm a CNA. So I know in my field, I can be more marketable if I do another trade, coding, billing and coding. If I do tech, what is that? You clean the instruments and stuff like that for surgery. That is a trade right there. What's another trade? Pharmacy. That's another trade. You could do so much without a college education and build your resume. Is that correct? So there's no excuse. You should not be a cashier at your tender age trying to provide for your family. You should at least be a key holder. Y'all get what I'm saying? You should at least try to have multiple incomes. And YouTube is not it because I feel within 3 years, YouTube will go plop, plop. When YouTube probably make people pay for the service, But when certain content creators, if you want to get paid, they're going to make you do memberships. If you don't have no memberships, you don't get paid. Type of vibe. I really can see YouTube doing that. And who wants to watch somebody that's over 30 years old still talking about living at home with somebody? And don't get it twisted. I always tell y'all it's cheaper to live at home. Go home to your mom if you can't afford it. I do say that. But do something in the midst of it. Don't be just sitting here living a luxury life.
Sorry, he's texting me. Yeah, so
Those shoes are so ugly, by the way.
that's why you saw me yesterday walking around the backyard. I was so upset. I was so upset and just frustrated with everything. Sorry. It just feels like I have no idea.
You feel like a
It
loser
just
because you
feels
are.
horrible because I know where I want to be. I want to be over there with my kids in a home somewhere where I don't have to struggle, like worry about homelessness.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know what state this woman in, but you said Florida. They don't have money on trees. They don't have money on trees. So again, when your husband said y'all don't have the best track record, it means that he knows, his mama knows, that y'all are not even, you don't even have a solid career plan. And you want to trade, you want to go and try to transfer your college, your hair courses. That don't even make any sense. Once you just finish out your hair courses and then go to Florida. Y'all, she had a little hair salon gig that she used to do, right? But I don't know what happened to it. Around December, she was like a shampoo girl. And maybe I don't know if that was like, okay, you had to do some classes, but she was working at a little salon while she was at Marshall's. But it to me, she don't want to advance in what she has. And that's what other people can see. His mother, your mother-in-law can see that you're a lazy piece of shit. I'm sorry, just look at the background of your mother-in-law house. If my mother said, "Hey, you can live with your three kids at my house for free," my mama should never have to worry about three things: a clean house, maybe a small ass bill, Wi-Fi, the alarm. She probably wouldn't have to worry about that. Maybe some put money on some light bill, or we don't still don't have a gas. Maybe buy like decor, fix something that needs to be fixed. I would have done something in those 6 years to enhance my mother's home life. But I'm not selfish. You are very selfish. When you came on this camera talking about you might be pregnant, how many babies can your mother-in-law? That is selfish. That is very selfish. You would even think about having another baby while living at somebody else's house that you don't help. You don't contribute. That's crazy.
Last time I went to the Keys, last time I went back home, I was only allowed to stay there because the plan was to stay there for X amount of time until I can find my own place for me and the kids. But then we had asked the housing place there. We asked them and see, to see how long we can stay there, like me and my kids, and they said we could only stay there for 2 weeks, and then that's it. We would only guests. We were only guests, and we were not allowed to.
Okay, so if y'all can hear what she said, she asked the housing. So whoever house she was at, most likely her mother's house, she had to stay there for 2 weeks, and that is very true. When you're on HUD, Section A, what's another one? Section A, what's another one? This is funny. Section A, Section A, what's another one? That's another one. Or yeah, anything you stand in HUD or Section A, yeah, they make you stay. Your guests can stay for 2 weeks. So that means that you really didn't have anybody in Florida, and probably still don't, because it seems like your mom is getting some type of government assistance at this point. Now you got to live, or rely on your mother's little bit of freedom of allowing you to stay with your kids. You still going to be up the creek without a stick. Because I'm sorry, most places, you got to have 3 times the rent. Point blank and simple. But you really, nobody in, the only person that has a plan is, don't seem like your mother has a plan, because I'm sorry to say she's on Section 8, or she's on some type of government assistance. So she don't have a plan. She can't help you. It's not like you have your own property, or you have your own home, or even some apartments. If you have your own, and that's something like people don't realize. I'm like, no, I like my brother over my house, and I don't want nobody saying, "Hey, she have a man over there." No, no, and no spells no. Cause my brother can stay with us at least 2 or 3 months out the year. Like, hey, can you stay with me after when the kids come back? And but you don't even have that security for you to hop skip to Florida. Just now you in your feelings, because he basically told you, we don't have the best track record. You don't want to keep a job. I don't want to keep a job. We don't have to pay rent here, but you're always, and I always saw that in her. I always saw that she always looked at other people getting something and she wanted. That was the reason why it was so easy for her to drive back.
Stay there at all, because then we would be putting in jeopardy my mom and my grandma getting possibly kicked out of there. So that's why I didn't know what to do. This last summer that I went to Florida, I was so stressed and confused, and I had nothing to fall back on. Like, my family doesn't have their own home, you know. I can't really rely. I don't can't rely on anybody, because I do have some family that lives in Florida City, but I don't know if they would be able to take me in and my kids. Like, I don't know if that would be something they would be comfortable.
Okay, so you still need to rely on somebody while you want to travel to Florida. Listen to your husband. Y'all don't have the best track record. I don't even know why you even on here complaining that you stay somewhere rent free. You're going to school, finish your degree, save up, and I'm gonna just say you should at least want to save up to $20,000 to $30,000, And that might seem like a lot, it might seem like it's impossible. But before you start venturing out in the world, learn how to pay some fucking bills. And I mean, hey, pay some bills. Learn how to pay the rent. Learn how to pay all your other credit cards and buy groceries and make sure your car is up kept. Make sure you have at least a half a tank of gas by the end of every Friday. Learn how to be an adult. Learn how to be able to spend over 5 grand a year, not a year, but learn how to at least try to see if you can spend at least $2,000 to $3,000 comfortably to maintain a healthy household. And if y'all can put in that 3,000, because y'all, I did see something. I think I'm done with Lee because I think it's just like the entitlement.
Doing.
It's the entitlement process that she don't comprehend. Learn how to spend paying your rent, buying this, paying for this. Learn how to do that first and then talk about going to Florida. I'm sorry, you won't make it. Then you're going to be still sitting on somebody's couch, house, and you're going to be facing homelessness. It's crazy. All right, we're done. All right, so y'all know I'm messy as hell. So we just gonna go to Medusa Gotti's house. Y'all know I talked about it last the other day. And of course, bum broads be acting like they're so unbothered, but they low key are bothered. They bothered, baby. So I'm gonna show y'all something. So she did a live. Let's look at the live. So I guess she's in her feelings, y'all, because only 167 people showed up to watch her video. Okay? Now, how dare y'all do that? How dare y'all only 160 of y'all watch my video? So what she do? She put it in shorts. Medusa, your toes are ugly, girl. So she had to go in here and put them in shorts. If pity was a person, it'll be her. So Medusa, why did you really go see Sinners? Did you go see Sinners because majority of black people was watching it? I'm just asking. You feel like you part of the culture. You feel important. You know, you just need to have something to talk about. Yeah, I want to go see Sinners 10 out of 10. Is it be 10 out of 10 because you don't, because everybody else said it's good? Like, if you ever see Sinners, there can be so many ways you can look at Sinners. You can look at Sinners as a politician point of view, because it is. It is. That was probably when, Jim Crow just came. Jim Crow already came alive, but it was more of, join our family. We are one. We are peace. When the Democrats came and it kind of messed up people because majority of blacks at that time frame was Republican. Ooh. Do you know your history? Like, I'm not. Don't come on here and talk about I'm a Trump supporter, because Trump already said a long time ago, if he ever become president, he'll be a Republican because he thinks they're too stupid to know the difference. Do you really realize what the Democrat Party did to black people in that time? Probably not. All right. So, do y'all realize that, what's his name, Booker T. Washington. He ran to Tuskegee area. Did y'all realize that the Democrats up north hated the idea of black people just surviving the South? They had no culture, but they knew how to take care of certain things, and white people definitely couldn't do it because white people was too lazy. Well, let's not say they was too lazy. They just didn't want to learn the trade, like blacksmithing, carpeting, and all that, woodcraft and all that stuff. And Booker T. Washington made a school for black people to flourish. And then there was the same people that came down south and said, "Hey, y'all don't need to be doing this crock stuff anymore." That's how you're supposed to look at that fucking movie Medusa. Not because it's trending to every black person you think you can lay up with and have another half breed. You look like a porn star every time you open your mouth. It's crazy. So you're supposed to look at that movie in different points of areas instead of just looking at it because a lot of black people are talking about it. Also, it talks about just the bad energy. And you're somebody that talks about energy all the time. Surprised you want to be in that atmosphere. That's crazy. But some things that people will say and what some things that people would do for content. It's crazy. But y'all, that's not what I'm talking about. I got sidetracked with the 10 out of 10. Watch it 100 times over, and you don't even understand the concept of the damn movie. Alrighty. And I know you don't because this is how you move at the age of 34. All right. So this is what we're gonna talk about. When you really hurt. So I might have to put this on mute. When you're really hurt. The DJ let me on stage. You're 30 some years old. You still get excited about the DJ. And y'all, let's put this on mute. Where's my mute button? Oh. Look how thirsty she looked. He's not even engaging in her. He's not even looking at you. And you got to do all that to get some attention. And then he turned away. And what did you do? That's pitiful, boo boo. You got to zoom in. You're drinking on that same drink you've been drinking on all night because nobody wasn't trying to buy you another drink, boo boo. You see that? And then he turned his head and you got to get closer. You sad. Just sad. All right. You're done. You're done looking at videos. I saw that and I was like, oh, she really thought she was eating right there. No, you wasn't eating. You was flunking. But and that's what happens to a lot of women that flunks. So this is what we're going to talk about with Medusa. Medusa, you got too much time watching jazz. All right. Don't know who needs to hear this, but your skin is by affected by your gut health, hormones, exposure to natural minerals, exposure to toxic around you, your diet, stress, and the amount of quality of sleep. Girl, why does that freaking matter? You 30 some years old. And we know Jazz always had the most effed up face. But guess what? I feel like this. Jazz had Chris longer than you had Chris. Mm. And you low key, it gets under your skin that this woman still, you said that you was going to surpass her, but this woman still could come on here with the same shit that she been living, and you gotta still be in the same situation you was, but not growing. And you know why you're not growing? It's because you're not real with yourself. You cannot fake it. We know what type of men you chase after. You chase after men that really don't have a job. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be linking up with no man that don't have to get up in the morning. And he better be off on the weekend. But you more obsessed with Jazz and trying to come back. Oh, girl, bye. Jazz over there crying about being a mama. And you over there not spending enough time with your damn kids as it is. And I'm sorry, you don't spend enough time with your kids. I know you don't. We know you don't. We know parents take care of those boys. That's usually why parents is homeschooled. Not because she don't want to. It's more convenient to you. So parents can be over there helping your grandmama watch the kids so it don't look so bad. That's the reason why you needed your grandmama to move out to Texas with you. But you forgot your baby daddy had a whole page. We see what type of baby daddy he was. And I'm always say this, I always say this. If your baby daddy's strung out, most likely the baby mama is strung out. They typically do stuff together. And that man was a fiend. You when they ask you, is he on drugs? No, he might have been drinking. No, we saw him drinking, but we know drinking don't cause those behaviors. And majority of all his videos, he's high. And I don't mean with the marijuana. Then you have to run away because you was living in filth. You had this man had you sleeping, had you living in pay by day hotels. You wasn't staying in no house. Oh, when I tell you this man had his YouTube, he had old videos. This man had you staying in a hotel. Nice. You wasn't staying in no house, and what house y'all was doing, you was leeching off of somebody else. That's sad. That's all you do is leech. You leech off of Jasmine for content. But we're done with Medusa. I see you. I always have low life. Y'all, Jazz. Y'all. Jasmine. Jasmine, Jasmine, Jasmine. I'm gonna just leave this up here. I don't even want to click on it. Jazz, once upon a time, I would say, yeah, right. I agree with that. It's so hard to be responsible for a little person with my first child. Y'all get what I'm saying? I could find myself saying how hard it is to take care of a little person. And that'd be my first child. Definitely when she rolls over and falls off the bed. It's so hard to take care of a little person. Yes, I will say amen to that when I was 24. But you're 34, 35, talking about it's so hard to take care of little people. 5D. That should have been your little birth control after you had Caitlin. You remember when Caitlin had those seizures and you was laughing and you feel like it was important to pull out the camera? She should have been your birth control. Hmm. But you needed to feel validated again for the family to keep on having ugly children. And y'all, I'm not calling the kids ugly. I'm calling them the act of how she got them was ugly. You was just so infatuated with having this man's baby. You didn't care about nothing else. I never in my life seen a mother care more about being able to be dateable than her children. Granted, I talk about my little kids. And by the way, y'all, today's English birthday. If y'all don't know who English is, he's the baby. He's AKA he plays Stinkerbug in the car seat. Yes, he's 11. I forgot all about it. I did. Y'all, I did. I did not look at the date today. Like, oh shit. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all, his grandmother on his dad's side, well, it'd be his great grandmother, and my great grandmother, they share the 31st. One was born that day and the other one died that day. My great grandmother died that day, and his grandmother was born that day. So I didn't even think nothing of those two dates on y'all. Stone me later. Stone me later. So after I had my first child, I could agree with you. It's so hard to lose a little person. You learn to bear from, you learn how to be their mom, you learn how to enjoy their smile, and then it gets easy. Then you have a second, right? And you might have to relearn everything about that child because that child is totally different than your first one, right? But no, you had to get pregnant so you can outbeat another bitch that lived worse than you did. You didn't have any sympathy for the women that your baby daddy put certain things through. But you was fine portraying the baby mama, aka Mary. And then later, when he was in jail, you had to reveal that he did not just have a baby by Asia, but that sucker had two other kids. But were y'all really together? No. He was having mercy sex with you. That is the lowest. Man didn't love you. And all you can do is put the you can all you can do is put that hurt on your children and say it's hard taking care of little people. They ain't do shit to you. They didn't. They didn't do nothing to you. They didn't. Stinkabug don't deserve a mother like you. You don't even take time to just be a mom without recording. Y'all, I do have a little break for my kid. And don't say, bitch, you can't say anything. I deserve my breaks. And my parents, they enjoy their grandkids. They do. They enjoy them. Do they have to bail them out? No. If I'm low, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I say, Mom, can you help me with school shoes? Mom, can you help me buy this game for my kid? Or I do. I will ask my parents for that. And then sometimes I have to really say, hey, don't buy it from the pawn shop. Oh, I found this. Don't buy it from the pawn shop. Just buy him what I asked for. Okay? My parents will definitely my dad. He will definitely buy something from the pawn shop. And then look around like, where is this at, girl? Where's the thing that you're supposed to put the game in? Oh, I just thought it was together. No, you need the box. You just got the wires for $500. No, I'm just kidding. He's not that slow. But you should really reconsider on taking a parenting class, Jazz. You're too old. Your kids are too old to eat for you to even say, I'm tired of taking care of little people. Responsible for little people. Baby, what do you expect parents to do? And now I'm thinking about it. Cheryl Dukes did not take care of y'all. That's the reason why shit's not easy. That's the reason why, and besides the point, did y'all see that family just got, they showed it on TV, right? How the mom is pregnant with the 12th baby, right? And the kids look miserable. And people are saying, yeah, those kids been taking care of each other. And it's not fair. And it's not. Because we know that with 12 kids, you can't take care of them. Definitely, you got a camera and you're recording. See, once upon a time, people said, my grandparents had 15 kids. You know what? You're right. And your grandparents probably did rely on the oldest to help take care of them. But let's talk about it. Your grandparents also had many different fucking traits that they taught each child. I don't know if y'all know the Wayans brothers, the Wayans siblings. All of them know how to cook, clean, sew, men, all that stuff. Their mama taught them that. They might not have money, to financially buy them new clothes every year. But they had money, they had enough love that their mom and dad passed traits to them. Just any of these mommies, they don't have that. Poor Peach kids, they're doomed. Peach is, and when I say doomed, they're doomed. Imagine being able to record and edit, but by the time that it matters to your kids, they can't afford or you can't afford equipment for them to do it. Because Peach don't put a nest for those kids. She's not gonna put a nest for those kids. She don't care about those kids. She care about Peach and whatever makes Peach feel good. That's usually why Peach got those kids. That's it. That's all she got. She got kids. And then on top of that, Chrissy, you got 9 kids. And your kids should definitely be more more able to do anything besides cook. You got 9 kids. And your kids should not be talking about YouTube, gaming. They should be out there living it up, having a childhood, not trying to unpack or pack for a new house. So back then, our grandparents that had 15 to 20 siblings, they all had a trade. They all was working on the home. That's amazing. Yeah, and I really I'm one of those parents that I just want my kids to work hard educationally wise right now so they don't have to work hard in the workforce. And I don't mean just getting the easy job at McDonald's. No. I mean their time. They learn how to have time management. They learn how to have discernment on everything and anything. People wasting your time. I want them to comprehend the conversation. Because y'all, I did not have conversation peace when I was 17 years old. I didn't know how to have a conversation piece besides gossip and having a boyfriend. But I want my kids to have an intellect conversation everywhere they go and understand and be, and not afraid of saying what is something. Because I was always afraid of feeling dumb. And then later on, I realized you can't be dumb because you don't ask. Y'all, I was, it's not funny, but it's funny. Okay. So I come across a little young lady. She knows every dance move. She knows how to put on everything. Like make sure she looks nice. She make sure she knows how she wants her hair, how long she wants her hair, or what is what. And she has the audacity not to know her vows. That is cute. Some people thought that shit was cute. No, it's embarrassing. Your daughter knows every TikTok dance, but she don't know her vows. That's banana. But we're done. Jazz, go seek help, aka now. Alrighty. So y'all, this is the lady of the topic. She's the last one, and I'm about to go on. Miss Shirley. Y'all, when I tell y'all, Miss Shirley, Miss Shirley. I feel like Miss Shirley was created because of mommies on social media. I wouldn't be surprised if Shirley Mama is has a subscription for My Jazzy Life, um, Chrissy, Liv. I don't I believe she might have one because when she came back on here and the way that she made it sound like it's somebody else's fault for her CPS. Whoever called, do they have the right to do that? Yes. Is it my business? No. Do I understand why he called or she called? Yes. Would I personally call? No. But I do know, hear me out, I do know that they have majorettes. Look, you girls, they be at parades and they did a little dance. They do the swirl, they do the kick, they do the splits, they do all that stuff. You wonder why they don't get, you wonder why they don't get CPS claims on them. And they do raunch their body, right? They shake, they shimmer, they pop, they snap, they do all that. But nobody's booking them for a adult event. This is woo! Everybody's in a certain spirit. The girls are dancing. They're not looking, seeing who's looking at them. They're not getting coached by only their coach, and everybody is probably dancing about the same. It's called rhythm, right? And majority of them don't have their tongue sticking out. They don't do nothing extra sexy or they don't do nothing extra. They just do their little dance and they go with their flow. That's it. That's all they can do. And you wonder why they don't get called CPS? It's because nobody's booking them to do grown folks events. And when they do it for the college, they're most likely doing it with the college kids or they got their routine. And sometimes some of those dancing people don't even, it's so much going on from the costumes down to the shimmer, and one person's doing one thing before the other ones. So it's really not like a sexual event. It's just they're dancing together. But the biggest thing, Miss Shirley's mama, they're not getting booked at an event late at night. Nobody's putting pages of an OnlyFans of them. And then you get on the camera and you make it seem like the cops was so ready for your daughter, like it was like super fans. That was sick. Talking about, oh, there's Michelle, I want to hug her. Nobody says that about a child. Y'all, and I'm being honest. Your kid can be the most cutest thing. I say, oh, he's so cute. And then there's some of them, it's like, oh, can I hold him? But eventually, after you have a kid, you don't really hold other people's children for kicks and giggles. Very seldom. You like them from a distance. And then by that time, by the time I hug and hold another kid, it'll be a grandchild. because I'm not going to pop out no more kids. And I think all my cousins and stuff, we're done with having children. So yeah, maybe my older my baby cousins, but normally, yeah, everybody's no, everybody's not going to have babies. Like, oh, let me see, Juju. But that's it. I'm not hugging no coworkers' kid. I'm not touching them. I'm just gonna look at them and say, "Oh, bless that little baby's heart," and that's it. So for me to say, here, a grown mama that knowing her kid's an investigation is still gloating about somebody admiring your child is sick as fuck. But that's the new way. What that little girl say? I'm gonna keep on stepping, baby. And you're gonna keep on stepping. Just remember, the world is even colder when you get older and you're no longer cute to 'em. So it's just like, that crackhead that we see after, 10 years, he gets addicted on crack. And then 10 years later, you go back home, he's still doing that same dance. That's how you're going to look, Shirley. Mark my words. You're going to be that 16-year-old. Where the fans at? Where the fans at? Dee, dee, doo, doo. That's where your mama's about to trap you. And you're going to be like, I'm still stepping, baby. Interesting. All right, well, my time is up, y'all. I went 3 minutes over, maybe a little bit over. But y'all, I hope y'all don't need to hear this. But I'm gonna say. And if somebody else need to hear it, please give them this message. 20, 26. Don't let that go by and you're still in the same place. Move. And I don't mean move like relocate. Activate whatever you need to activate so you can be where you need to be at mentally, physically, spiritually, um, your relationship, all of that. Be in that place. Nurture that thing. And if it's not YouTube, if it's not Facebook, nurture what you got inside of you. Because a lot of people are dying inside, and we're looking and saying, damn, I wish I had that. I wish I had seven. I wish I had 4,000 views and 1K subscribers. So I could be making money like them. And then you finally get it, you don't activate anything. You still sitting on envy. You're still sitting on what other people are doing and why you can't do it. You're still wishing, you're still fantasizing. And you could just have been literally 25 to now to 26. You could literally be planting and pouring out whatever you need. If that's envy, go ahead and pull that out in your pot. If that is insecurity, go ahead and start snapping it away. Don't pull it away so gently, but just start trimming, right? Because I feel like we do need our insecurities in our DNA because I feel like that is the fuel that helps us. Well, it's like when you have a split end in your hair, you can go ahead and chop all of it off, and then eventually that hair is still weak that you chopped off because you just bluntly chopped it off. So it has nowhere else. So it's going to spurt back up, right? But if you gradually start trimming away. Maybe every 4 weeks, start trimming. Your hair start getting naturally healthy. Start restoring itself. So don't try to pluck everything out that's inside of you that you feel like it's bad. Just start trimming. And you know which ones you're supposed to. You definitely pull out your weed. It's definitely envy, insecurity, doubt, fear. Yeah, you can take some of those out. But some things you still need in your DNA to help to get it to grow. But everybody might not need this. So, start nurturing what's inside of you. If you are a singer, start working. If you want to be that chemist, start saying, how can I go back to school? If you want that job that you drive by every day and you say you driving in your car and say, man, I wish I could work at that building. You find what they do at that building. You learn first. You're going to have to learn the history of that building and what that building is and what kind of products or whatever they're doing in there. Because now what you envying is what you see other people walking out. I mean, they might be on some weird shit, but you envying it. But either way, if you wasn't envying, you just said, man, I wouldn't want that. If you want a house and you say you see somebody on YouTube and you see that house, you start feeling out, well, if I can't afford that house, how do I get a house? You start somewhere. You start nurturing that. If you don't nurture whatever's inside of you, you're going to always be envy. You're going to always be unhappy. And you're going to always be unsatisfied. And when I mean unhappy, it is unhappy. And trust me, and I'll be honest with y'all. Y'all know I do Bigo, right? And Bigo, Bigo be full of like people that needs that extra push to live life, whatever that narcotics, that alcohol, that let me shit on you because I feel bad. They need that to survive on Bigo. And one guy asked me, "Do I smoke?" And I was like, "No, I'm a natural high. Like people like me, we don't need to smoke to, we don't need to smoke to get by. We handle stress just like the next. We figure it out. We don't have the money for it today. Guess what? We'll eventually have the money. If we don't, we just gonna keep on having to owe people. It's okay." But now, as I'm looking at the situation, now as I'm looking at the situation about life, whatever, um, I'm noticing that a lot of people can't adapt to life. They can't. And I see it. Like, Vigo is like a very dark place, but you really see it. And some of them, they so far in it that it's hard for them to come out of it. But y'all, I will bust out in tears because y'all, I see so much, and we sit here and we watch these mommies complain about their children and not having money and depressed and got anxiety. Y'all, what saddens me is, and I will say it, is men that never had a chance. I'm not talking about knuckleheads. talking about the little boys that grow up into grown men, that something that took place in their childhood, they just live with it. Nobody protected them. And y'all, and that's so crazy because I see them, right? I see them. And man, they be protecting strangers. Like, I don't know if y'all seen Holiday Art. And he talked about nobody, he was in jail and nobody didn't protect him. And in that movie, he protected a stranger. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, they have all that in them. And they're torn. Just think about it. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go home and I probably won't eat anything. I'll probably just cook the steak that I got and have it for tomorrow. I'll make me a fried egg before I go to work, walk out. But please check out the replay. Y'all, I was just kicking tonight. That's it. It wasn't nothing serious. But I appreciate y'all and good night.